What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and I'm joined by my girlfriend, Cam. How you doing today, Cam?
Good. Not a special lady friend?
No, not this time. I feel like that offends some people.
Okay.
So, girlfriend, my acquaintance, if you will.
Okay.
She has a channel of her own, Cam Silas, and a TikTok. Those will be in the description down below, as well as a merch store. We're actually wearing her merch today, so you can check all that good stuff out down below. But this is a sequel follow-up video to our tier ranking of the MCU heroes. People have asked for the MCU villains tier list, so today that's what we're doing. We're sitting down and going through all the MCU villains. We're excluding a few of the minor supporting characters that we don't really care about. But the tiers we have today are amazing, great, good, meh, and bad. So the first villain on the list is Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3, played by Guy Pearce. I'm not a huge fan of this villain, simply because the promotions and the trailers really played up Ben Kingsley's The Mandarin, and that whole twist, I've never been a fan of. I know some people in the movie community like it, but I didn't.
I know, you complain about it all the time.
Yeah, ever since I saw it, it's upset me. So I have to go mad with Aldrich Killian. His plan is super stereotypical. He's like a super fan of Tony Stark, and then he kind of gets screwed by him, like forgotten in a way, not acknowledged, and then he decides, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to glow up, and then I'm going to get my revenge. And I've never really cared for it, so I'm going meh. He's not very memorable,
Sounds good to me.
He's not awful, like he's not flat out bad, so he's going in the meh category. So the next villain is Alexander Pierce from Captain America the Winter Soldier. I know you love this movie, so do you have any thoughts on him?
I think that I would put him in great personally, just because he's really high up in S.H.I.E.L.D. and then he spearheads Hydra throughout all of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he does that without, not only does it without anybody else finding out, like Nick Fury, but he also gets other people to join Hydra.
Great acting performance by Robert Redford, so we'll put him in great. I like him. I think that he's in one of the premier MCU movies, so we'll give him the credit he deserves. Next up is Dormammu from Doctor Strange. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. It's interesting because he's not a person. He's more of an entity. Mm-hmm. So for that reason, I don't think he can go in great or amazing. But honestly, I don't even know if he can go in good for me.
He's technically a villain, but not really for most of the movie.
Yeah. Bad or meh. Like, I'm between those two.
We have to put somebody in bad.
I think he'll go in bad just because he really...
It's not like we're hurting his feelings.
His plan isn't fleshed out fully, in my opinion, and he's just...
What even was his plan?
Exactly. So we're gonna put him in bad, and it's just because...
No offense to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I really do like the movie. I don't think it's bad at all, but the villains aren't the most memorable part of it. Next up, I have a picture of Ebony Maw, but it's the children of Thanos. That's Ebony Maw, Cole Obsidian, Corvus Glaive, and there's one more. Can you get it? It's Proxima Midnight.
The blue chick.
Yeah, Proxima Midnight. So those are the children of Thanos we're talking about. I think they're great. Mainly for Ebony Maw. Do you disagree?
Yeah. They're like...
No, this is good. Tell me why.
I mean...
Convince me.
They're not great. I would not put them in great. They are there.
Yeah. I guess I'm mainly thinking of Ebony Maw.
Think about Proxima, whatever her name is. She's kind of irritating.
She is. And the other two are... You will
pay for his life.
They're just kind of henchmen. Or whatever. Yeah. Maybe I jumped the gun on that. They're not.
You might have.
I saw the picture of Ebony Maw. And I was
very shocked when you said that.
Yeah.
I would put them in. Honestly, meh.
Meh.
That's where I would.
Well, if we're talking about all four, okay, Ebony Maw is leaps and bounds better than the others, I think. But he still gets offed pretty quickly.
Get lost, Squidward.
Yeah, are they kind of just the henchmen for Thanos to do his dirty work?
I didn't even know any of their names besides Ebony Maw. I'm very surprised that you did. But the thing is that if I don't know their names, they're not. We'll
put them in meh. You've convinced me because...
You said great really fast.
It's because I got excited when I like the opening. It's the picture of the opening from Infinity War, and I like that scene so much. And his voice is very menacing, but I don't really know what else their purpose is besides just henchmen. So we'll put them in meh. Next up is Ego, played by Kurt Russell from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And... What?
Is Kurt Russell in Sky High?
Yeah, he's the dad in Sky High.
I just put that together! Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Ego?
I would put him in good, because he's not the best villain, but he does have the aspect of being Quill's dad.
Yeah. I think
that kind of gives him a nice...
I think his plan is clever the way it's revealed. Mm-hmm. Even though he's such a horrible person and I hate him, I'd put him in good probably too.
Yeah.
He's not one of the top tier.
He's got a little bit of depth to him.
Yeah, he's better than the other ones below him by far, but he's
Yeah.
he's not at all great. He's just kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
You know? Next up is Ghost, who is Ghost even a villain, honestly? I mean, yes, but at the same time, very weak. I honestly would put her in bad.
Really?
Yeah, I would. She was marketed as the villain, but the whole time she was just kind of disappearing, so she was trying to get cured, you know?
Yeah.
And there's like a sad storyline with the way her father, I want to say, and her parents got killed, but other than that, she's kind of just there.
Yeah.
I'll put her in bad. I mean, the
another,
movie's not bad in my opinion. It's just she's very lackluster.
It's another one of those movies that has like multiple villains.
Yeah. Next up is an awesome villain, Hela from Thor Ragnarok.
Amazing.
Thoughts? Amazing?
Amazing. I love her so much. She's dope.
We
had an argument on one of your live streams in the chat.
Yeah.
Who is stronger, Hela or Thanos?
Yeah.
And I say without the gauntlet, Hela is stronger.
I put her in great.
Amazing.
I put her in great because she is a very powerful villain who is menacing, but at the same time, her motivation isn't the best, in my opinion. She's kind of just like...
dad locked her away in hell.
Okay.
For like a couple decades.
Yeah, and so she just wanted to come back and destroy Asgard. It's like... It's not as well thought out as some other plans. Like, I think Alexander Pierce's... The way he plots is way better than Hela. Hela's kind of... She's really cool. I like her. I do. I'm just saying, like... Her motivation isn't as great as other villains. She's super powerful. Power-wise, she'd be an amazing, but as a character, I don't know if I would go amazing. I like her, though. I do.
I'll allow it.
Great?
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing is, like, next level, you know? So the next one...
Speaking of next level...
Oh, Lord, here we go again. The next one is the Winter Soldier, who was also in our hero video, just as an FYI.
As Bucky Barnes, though.
Yeah. No, it's the same person.
No, it's not.
Okay. The Winter Soldier is the villain in The Winter Soldier. He's also the villain, in a way, in Civil War, as he kills Tony Stark's parents. But what do you think of The Winter Soldier? So who killed Tony Stark's parents?
He did.
Yeah.
He didn't do it.
He didn't, though?
He didn't do it in Civil War, though. He did it in...
No, I'm saying we find out in Civil War.
Sure.
Yeah. He is portrayed as a villain through a lot of that film. The way you're guided. Obviously, in the end, we know it's Zemo's plan, but I'm saying that he is presented as a villain.
Okay, I have to get myself out of the Bucky mindset. This has nothing to do with the fact that I like Bucky Barnes.
Okay.
I would still put him in amazing, and here is why.
Okay.
He's bad ass.
Yes, he is.
Think about the scene where he shoots the thingy under Fury's car. He's
Yeah.
dope. He has a metal arm. He's sick.
He is. As a hero, he's not in the amazing category. Don't even.
But as a
villain, he is a stronger villain. I will admit that.
Do it.
He's going in amazing.
Yes.
If I think that or not is up to the audience to decide, but she definitely does. Next is Abomination from The Incredible Hulk, who I'm putting in meh. I know that you could not care less. Like, you really don't care. So I'm putting him in a meh. Tim Roth's cool. I think that the fight at the end's awesome, but like really just kind of bland to me. I've never got the hype for it. And the next villain is Whiplash from Iron Man 2, who has one cool scene, but aside from that, I have to put in bad.
Really?
Yeah, I do. And I like Mickey Rourke, and as a kid, I was obsessed with watching the trailer, and that fight on the racetrack was so cool to me. But after that, he's not really in the movie until the very end, and he kind of built this army of robots for Justin Hammer. But his motivation is lacking, and that's a very big issue with a lot of MCU villains. Tony Stark screwed me is like a common trope throughout a lot of these villains.
We see that in Far From Home.
We do. But it's like his family was kind of screwed by the Starks, so he has this vendetta against them. I'm going to put him in bad.
Fair.
It's just because there's a lack of depth, in my opinion. The next villain is one of my favorites, Obadiah Stane, a.k.a. the Ironmonger from the first Iron Man. Cue the TikTok we made here.
It's impossible. Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
I just love Jeff Bridges. He's the dude from The Big Lebowski. And seeing him as friends with Tony Stark, but then he actually screws Tony Stark is funny. Especially for the first MCU movie, I think that he is a very, very solid villain. I would actually put him in great.
I think amazing.
Wow. I mean, I think that
he's the first villain.
In the end, he's kind of just envious of the technology and the fact that he isn't the front and center of the Stark Weapons Company. So I would just put him in great. I think he's really, really good, probably,
Fair.
But not amazing. And next is Justin Hammer, played by Sam Rockwell, who is a wannabe Tony Stark throughout most of this movie. He's not bad, though, at all. He's not bad. I think that he's actually better than Whiplash, because he's trying to make his own tech and compete with Tony.
And steal Pepper.
And Sam Rockwell's a really good actor. He's trying to steal Pepper, like you said. I would probably go meh.
Yeah, I was going to say
Meh. Like, he's not good, but he's meh. Next is Caecilius from Doctor Strange, who, again, I can't put in the good category.
Really?
Really. I want to. Like, when I first saw this movie, I was like, Caecilius is a top 10 MCU villain. But now, like, no, I can't do it. Too stereotypical and cliche. He's kind of like, I'm evil.
At first, he kind of just seems like a really dope villain, but that's not really him. It's kind of just, like, the special effects.
Yeah.
And, like, the stuff that he can
And in the
do.
end, it's not even him. It's Dormammu. He has the showdown with, really. So, meh.
I'll take it.
Meh. Time for some controversy, folks. The next one is Killmonger from Black Panther, who I cannot, in good conscience, put in the amazing category. I know a lot of you would.
Oh,
and
really?
I can't do it. No. What do you think?
I wouldn't put him in amazing. I would put him in good.
I'd put him in good and not even great. And the reason why is he comes off as just like super whiny to me. And I understand that he got screwed.
Hey, Auntie. That's the best part.
I understand he got screwed. And people were like saying Michael B. Jordan should get an Oscar nominee. And I'm like, have you seen Creed or Creed 2? Way better performances than that movie. He's fantastic in those. I love Michael B. Jordan. But the character of Killmonger I've never loved. He's come off as whiny. If you want to talk about whiny, like people say Kylo Ren and Anakin from the prequels are whiny, throw Killmonger in that category.
I don't like Killmonger because when I watch Black Panther, all I can see is that he talks with his nose.
I will say you can get behind him a little, but I don't like how there's a portion of the movie where he is like in charge and Black Panther's dead. You know how I feel about that.
You hate when they fake kill people.
And I hate when they fake kill people, and from the audience's point of view, we're supposed to believe they're dead, as opposed to like The Lion King, where everyone in the movie thinks Simba's dead, but we know he's alive. Like, that's totally fine. That happens a lot more. But when Black Panther's dead, he's not shown. It's like, let's get back to the point. Like, we know he's alive.
Yeah.
That's something that bothers me. But yeah, we'll go good with Killmonger. I know that's going to be controversial, but
could you imagine if Marvel made a movie for like a hero and they just killed the hero off in the first movie? That'd actually be kind of funny.
Next one's Ulysses Klaue, who's in Age of Ultron and also Black Panther. More of a side villain. We figured we'd throw him a bone, though. What do you think of Klaue? Ooh, good one.
Thanks. Meh.
We're just putting him. I don't even want to talk about him, really. Like, he's kind of just there.
Just nothing.
He's not bad. Is he bad?
Should we put him in bad?
He's meh. He's meh. He has, like...
Doesn't he die?
Yeah.
Spoiler.
He gets killed by Killmonger, but he gets his arm cut off. I guess he's meh. Like... No, he's bad. He's bad.
All right, go
he's
for
bad.
it.
We're moving him to the bad category. I mean, like, look at who's in bad. I mean, he's comparable to Ghost. He's comparable to Whiplash. He's comparable to Dormammu. Like, in the terms of, he's kind of just this weapons dealer.
Yeah, he's less of a villain, more of just like.
And I love Andy
relief.
Serkis. Don't get me wrong. I love Andy Serkis. He's Caesar. He's Gollum from Lord of the Rings. But his character is just kind of there to progress the story. Perhaps the best villain to some, Loki, who's the villain in Thor and Avengers, and then kind of just this scumbag throughout a lot of other movies. I still like Loki, but you know what I mean. He's just like, is he ever going to die? The world might never know.
I know how you feel about him as a hero.
Well, he's fake died like 5 to 10 times. So
yeah, so you
maybe 20.
You hate when people fake die.
Yeah,
that
so
aside,
irritating.
though, that aside,
Yeah.
I know how you feel about him as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about him as a villain?
Top 5 villain.
All right.
Top 5 villain.
So do we agree where we're gonna put him?
Amazing.
Good. Okay. That's all we needed.
And the Avengers movie is what solidifies that.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's just so funny. Everything he does is hilarious.
And I do love in Avengers at the end, doesn't he say, if it's all right with you, I think I'll have that drink now?
Yes, he's perfect. I love him.
He's very like,
He's perfect.
He's like an anti-Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like, in a way. He's kind of snarky and quippy like Tony, but he's a villain. So his alliance is kind of uncertain throughout a lot of the MCU, but I love him as a villain.
He reminds, I don't know if this was controversial or not, but he gives me Deadpool vibes. Like if Deadpool was a villain,
that's fair. Yeah.
the type of humor that Deadpool has,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Loki gives me those vibes.
Next is Malekith.
Next?
And
Mysterio.
next we have Mysterio from Spider-Man Far From Home, who, merch, Spider-Man merch. But I love Jake Gyllenhaal. He's one of my favorite actors, probably top 10. And I think he looks good in this movie, to say the least. He does.
He does. The scene where he gets the glasses from Peter,
Mm-hmm.
albeit a stupid move on Peter's behalf.
Yeah.
That's against the point, though. When he gets the glasses and, like, the camera pans and everything starts to dissolve and he has that smile.
Yeah.
He's like, see? That wasn't so hard.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I have goosebumps.
Yeah, hi, honey.
Yeah, hi, honey.
I love that quote from him, and I think that he's a really cool, smart tech villain, and it's like, sure, people are upset that he's not the one behind the whole thing because it's projections, but he's still very smart, and he kind of gets the best of Spider-Man throughout this movie until the end, and he actually wins. So I think that he goes in great, and the reason he's not amazing is because I like to compare, and I don't think he's on the level of Winter Soldier and Loki just yet. If he comes back, he could reach the amazing tier, but I think he's definitely great.
I think he's amazing.
I think if you compare him to the other Spider-Man MCU villain.
Okay.
You know what I'm thinking now?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
fine. You can come in great.
All right, he's going in great, and I love Jake Gyllenhaal. Love him. He had so much fun in the role, you can tell. So next up, we have Red Skull from the first Avenger, and also making appearances in Infinity War and Endgame briefly, but he's not really a villain there. He's kind of just indifferent. I think that this is going to upset some people, but he's not a good villain. It's not a good villain. And I know...
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that? I think that it's the blandest plan in the entire MCU.
What do you mean?
He just wants to destroy the world, which is like a lot of these people's plan, but like it's not well thought out or anything. He just wants to find the Tesseract and make weapons with it, and that's it. There's no depth to his character. He's very one-dimensional. And I know that people like the persona of Red Skull. I think he's super cool, but when you really dig into his motivations and stuff, what is there to offer? What do you disagree?
When I think of Red Skull as a villain, I kind of just include Hydra in that whole thing. Like, he is Hydra, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd put him in good.
Yeah, we can go good, I guess. We can settle for that. He's definitely not one of the better MCU villains, in my opinion. Very one-dimensional, but it is what it is. And you know who else is one-dimensional? Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy. Arguably more one-dimensional.
Isn't he also in Captain Marvel?
His literal purpose is to find the Power Stone, the orb, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And give it to Thanos. That's the whole point of the movie. And
so he's like a henchman.
He's meh. He's better than who's in bad right now, but he's meh at best. He's going in meh. And like, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but the villain, I think everyone has to kind of admit the villain's not the best at all. Next is Sonny Birch from Ant-Man and the Wasp, who I like Walton Goggins. I think he's funny. Doesn't really have much to do. He's kind of just there to steal the lab, I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm putting him in bad.
Yeah. if Ghost is in bad, he should also be in
the
bad.
Villains are not great in that movie.
I feel like when a Marvel movie has more than one villain, that automatically just makes the villain worse because there's less time to focus on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have to divide time up between 2 to 3 villains, then there's less development, and then that villain is just worse.
Next is Thanos, who is... If there was a tier above Amazing, he would be in it. He stands on his own. He's on his own island when it comes to MCU villains. Far and away the best. I'm putting him in Amazing. He's the best MCU villain. I think we both agree. He's got 2 movies to really dig deep into his character. He does show up in post-credit scenes and brief appearances in Guardians 1. He has this evil plan, but you can understand it. They make him relatable in a way that the audience can actually get behind and understand his plan. And who would have thought, eradicating half of the human population is something you could, get behind? I'm not behind it. I'm just saying, they make it that way in the movie.
You're behind it when we're driving in traffic.
Yeah.
And you wish you could snap half of them away.
Maybe. If you've watched the MCU, I think most people agree he's the best.
Yeah. He's the villain.
He's the villain, yeah. Next up is Ultron from Avengers Age of Ultron, who I actually think gets too much hate. I think he's a good villain. I don't think he's meh or bad. I think James Spader has such a menacing voice whenever he's on screen. I'm kind of captivated by whatever he's saying. I can kind of get behind his point of view. The way he came about, I don't know if it was the best it could have been executed, with Tony kind of creating it in a sense. But I still like it. I think he's a good villain. We'll put him in good. Next is Vulture, who's very close to being my favorite MCU villain. He's played by Michael Keaton, who I love, but also they humanize him in the first 10 minutes of the movie. He has to clean up the aftermath of the Battle of New York, and he gets screwed by Tony Stark in a way, but in a good way.
Don't we all?
Yeah, everyone does, apparently. But he wants to just stick it to the big man, and he's looking out for his family. The big moment for him is the reveal when Peter opens the door and to pick up Liz for the homecoming dance, and you find out that Vulture is Liz's father.
Surprise.
It honestly kind of scared me. I was like, no, whoa. I remember we saw it in theaters and we both were and so shook. Yeah. And then the scene where he's with Pete in the car, he's like, I'm going to give the dad talk. He turns around with the gun.
He has the gun on the back of the headrest.
Yeah, he's so intimidating, and I can't wait to see him again. I know we will. We're going to see him again.
Such good depth of a character.
Would you go amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Next is Yellow Jacket from Ant-Man. I think he's one of the better villains, and I know that he's got a super basic one-dimensional plot, like a lot of MCU villains do. That's an issue. But I think that...
We need to write an email to Marvel. Strongly worded letter.
Maybe his like tech is cooler. I know
Yeah.
he's basically the anti-Ant-Man, but I guess his technology is a little cooler.
I'm going to say good.
Good? Okay, we'll go good.
Go Jackets.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Next up is Yon-Rogg, the villain, if you want to call him that, from Captain Marvel, which is not only one of the most bland MCU movies, but I had to look up his name before we filmed this, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
I call him Jude Law, because I know the actor. I say Jude Law is the villain in that movie.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Just, it's honestly hard for me to remember how and why he's the villain. Zemo from Civil War, who, if not for Zemo, we don't get that final showdown at the end between Iron Man and Cap and Bucky.
If not for Zemo, we don't get the rest of the MCU, because if it wasn't for him, Iron Man and Cap wouldn't be fighting, and then they would be together in Infinity War and probably would have won.
His plan works, and he gets to tear the Avengers apart, which is what this movie's about. And like you said, without him, we don't get the rest of the MCU. I think he's the most underrated MCU villain. I do. And I know he's going to be in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, too, so I'm excited for that.
I am interested to see what they're going to do with him.
So we'll put him in great?
I would put him in amazing, dude. Think about it, not only is he smart enough to take down the freaking Avengers with just his mind, like he doesn't do anything really besides frame Bucky.
It doesn't feel right to me personally to put him with Loki, Thanos, Vulture, and Winter Soldier. I think that the great villains are still great, but the amazing are just next level, and I don't think that Zemo's next level.
I'll allow it.
You sure?
Yeah.
You'll allow it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll put him in great. If you would put him in amazing, comment down below. But those are all the heroes that we were tier ranking today, so thank you all for watching. I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning, but I am at Cam's house. I'm not in my normal studio, so that's why it looks different. But definitely check out Cam. She has a YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. I'll put the links down below. She also has this merch that we're wearing. Very cool stuff. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and if you'd like to see Cam in more videos, definitely comment down below. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the Film Stock channel. It really would mean a ton. The support lately has been awesome, and I just love to see the channel grow and just growing this community. It's just so much fun, so thank you all for that, and definitely consider hitting the like button. Comment your tier ranking of all the MCU villains down below. I would definitely be interested to have a discussion about it. It's a very fun topic, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.
Bye.